Hello, and welcome to another horrific review. I'm joined once again by Chris as we continue our journey along the Graboid Trail. Today we are discussing Tremors 6, A Cold Day in Hell. Burt Gummer, who is dying from Graboid poison, and his son end up in a remote research station in Canada's Nunavut territory. I think I pronounced that properly. Where they must go up against a new batch of Graboids to save Burt's life. This movie was released in 2018 straight to VOD, which means we have no financial information.
Yeah, after having watched it, I could take a guess at it that it did poorly. That would be my guess on the financials.
Yeah. Yeah. This is starting to come everything I feared.
Yeah, this was definitely a mixed bag. I will say though, usually when a movie is disappointing, for me, it's usually the second half. Like I'm one of those people, especially when there's any kind of like sci-fi or horror element, I buy immediately into the premise. I love the world building that goes on in the first half of movies. And then I'm usually disappointed in the second half, the way it ended, what the director did, where the story didn't go or where it did go. This was kind of the opposite, which was strange. I hated the first half and I was like, God, this is terrible. And then it actually got better for me. There was some good point. There was a lot of good parts in the second one that made it overall, decent, 5 out of 10, something like that.
Yeah, because in the first like 5-10 minutes of this movie, you're just like, oh my god, no. And you remember some of the concerns I voiced in Tremors 5?
Exactly what you
said.
Yeah.
It's 2018, time to deconstruct the main hero.
Yep. And the same director that didn't get humor in the last one with Burt and the cage. It's the same director. He just doesn't get sense of humor, and the dialogue is just is awful. I don't want to go too far, but yeah, it was rough, and in the beginning of it was terrible.
We'll start off with the movie kill, the most boring trope of a horror movie. Just in case you forget it's a horror movie, let's kill someone like within the first 2 minutes just to go, wahaha, we're killing someone.
Yeah. And you like the names of some of these characters, Yankee, Dutch, or even later on, Dr. Freeze.
Like Twitter handles?
Yeah, Hart, Swackhammer. Like you can tell this is 2018. It's like a child wrote this movie, These names are just terrible. So the movie immediately starts out disappointing because the whole the name of the movie is A Cold Day in Hell. They're supposed to be in northern Canada, near like the polar ice caps, and sure enough, you're in snow, and you're like, okay, like the Graboids have made it this far, or what's going on? Like at least we'll get like a different topography, a little different geography for this one. And then the rest of the movie, they're just in like what could have been, Southern California, which is, I know they filmed in Africa, but I mean, no snow the rest of the movie, just the first 5 minutes, and that was it.
Yeah, and when they're mentioned about, I know it's supposed to be a heat wave or something, a random heat wave, which is why they're going about in the Arctic with just jumpers and sun, just open, not wrapped up, and it's all fine. You're like, really?
And
the dogs aren't even, just, I know huskies are robust, but at the same time, you have some sort of base camp if you're staying somewhere for a while.
Yeah,
should be a tent or something.
And I know global warming is like a legitimate concern, but I didn't think it was 300 years later where the polar ice had already melted everywhere.
See, and this is why I'll happily burn tires out in the front yard and chop down trees, because if you're trying to get me on board with your cause, this is not the way to do it.
Yeah.
You don't ruin movies. You ruin movies. I'm chopping down trees. I'm burning tires. I'm pissing in rivers.
I really feel like this movie might have had a budget problem because apparently that scene in the snow was actually filmed in sand, and then they used like CGI to make it look like snow. And if they were, that's why it didn't react like snow. It looked weird. So I guess maybe they had planned to do that throughout the movie, and they were just like, "Nah, we just ran out of money."
Maybe they should have tested it first and got a price.
Yeah. Exactly.
Here's some sand, make it look like snow, right? How much is that going to cost? Maybe not do that. Maybe it's cheaper to go somewhere with snow.
Yeah.
Well, it's not expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, most places film in Canada because it's cheaper and
It's
there's
cheaper.
and there's
Yeah.
up and there's all sorts of stuff. Just go film in Canada.
Yeah. Exactly.
How,
So
how, right? How did they end up in Africa film some of this? Or like that makes absolutely no sense.
yeah, why they filmed there? Maybe they left some camera equipment behind from the last movie, so they're like, "Well, we got to go back and get it anyway. We might as well
Oh, so we'll
just."
just bring an entire Korean film set and just carry on, pretend it's
Yeah,
this frozen tundra.
but it's insulting to the viewer because you set up a premise with the title and with the the cover art, movie posters, and everything like that, and then even the first few minutes they're showing you the snow,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's gone. It's almost like and all they say is it's global warming. So
Do
it's
you know
like
what I was
insulting
thinking? Do
you.
you know that stuff you blow, that fake snow stuff you blow, like
Yeah,
in shopping malls and this grotto type stuff?
yeah,
Or the stuff you spray on windows? That's what I thought somebody just got that. You know, can spray that you do in windows for Christmas?
yeah.
I thought someone just got that and just done it in the grass, went psh.
They could
It
have done
just
that.
looked off. Do you know, that first scene just looked wrong. It just
It
looked
did.
off. It looked, and at least you dug in and found out why. Because I'm just like, I'm not buying this. Why is my brain and my eyes not
Not
telling
matching.
me this is the tundra?
Yeah,
Because if you've watched The Thing, for example, you know you're in the tundra.
yeah. But I think as insulting as and badly done as it was, I would have rathered at least they carried that through because that's supposedly where the movie is supposed to take place. So to just ignore it with
And hot
one,
springs and all sorts. You're like, you
it just
are taking the mick.
you're insulting our intelligence as a viewer, and so it starts you off on a disappointing foot for sure.
And even that initial scene, right? Taking it aside that it just doesn't look right. So
Yeah,
you know something's off, and your brain's just telling you it's not right. But they're drilling, and this guy hits Graboid, and
yeah,
Graboid juices spill all over the place, and he doesn't stop. Like, oh, it might be no. You're looking at it. It's not like you're in an oil well and it's drilling into the sea, and you're 2 miles above the surface. No, you're actually physically looking where it's drilling, and you're seeing this goo come up, and you're like, oh, it might just be a bit of rock. What rock does that?
I know. I had the exact same reaction. I'm watching this movie and he's just yellow stuff is coming up, and he's like, "Oh, maybe we'll just keep going." I'm like, "What the crack is going on?" The dialogue in that scene was some of the. I took some examples. Just
Good,
to,
because my brain shut out. I'm like, what am I listening to?
these are actual examples of some of the dialogue. Yeah, I did, Sweden. I'm from Norway, a-hole. You two knob jockeys sound like a couple of Sheilas. Maybe it's the Easter Bunny. That's no Easter Bunny. I mean,
These are a bunch of Southern Californians trying to figure out, oh, there's the world out there. It's like you Yanks and your Yank football World Series, and it's only in your country. You're like, what is actually, is this the product of inbreeding? Like like I know we all had a good idea. Like I know, let's get rid of our arseholes and we put you all on ships, your ancestors, and then it wasn't our fault that you inbred and bred with the farm animals. Stop saying you are like us and talking about heritage and stuff, because that was all on news. Like we just had this idea of, what if we just put all our arseholes in ships? Yeah, they're gone. We'll never hear from them again. And
yeah.
then we get this appearing on our screens. And it's like, maybe that wasn't the best idea. We should have maybe had what we should have done is actually seen like the Mayflower had a plug on the ship and just a huge anchor chain tied to the pier. So the ship just sailed off and got about 10 miles out. Then the thing just went.
Well, it was if the director was American, I apologize. I'll take the blame on this one.
But you can just tell these are people who just don't understand the world, or well, we can't find an Australian or an actual Norwegian.
Yeah, I see.
It's
Just the dialogue was so bad, especially in the beginning. I will say it did get better, but I'm like watching this and I'm like, God, my 2-year-old could write better, and she doesn't even write. It was a rough start to the movie. I will say
But
it.
this was like a slasher movie
Yeah,
at the start.
yeah,
And you're like, no, come on. We have had, and you saw me last time. I'm like, and then that's why I did a bit of research about what was happening. Then I found out about the, like Universal just wanting to do everything. And I'm like, oh, this is going to go wrong. And we saw it happening last time. And I'm like, I don't know now.
yeah,
And then this has just confirmed the fears. I'm like, you arseholes. Why did you do that? You had, this is why this franchise has lasted so long, is because there's, what franchise can you say has went 5 movies in and everyone been enjoyable?
that's tough.
Or 4 movies, even 4 movies
Yeah,
in. Like the
yeah,
5th one was getting a bit wobbly. It was still enjoyable, but it was a bit wobbly. But there's 4 or 5 movies in their franchise and you still have faith.
yeah. That's a good point. I can't think of one. There's
Usually
always,
they burn out by the second or third one. Usually by the second or third one, they're done.
yeah.
Um, This, like I said, last was starting to show the signs, and now we're seeing it. And now I dread watching number 7.
I will say though, for people watching this, alive or after the fact, there is some positive to it. I promise we'll get to it, but there was not much in the beginning, so
Don't
we have
judge
to
it in the
we
first
have to be
20
honest.
minutes.
Yeah, so I just have to be honest. But there is some positive things coming. In
Yeah,
my,
so
my
these kids are just cannon fodder. You know what I mean? It's just to do
yeah,
the. In case you forgot, if how could you be watching Tremors 6 and not know about the Graboids and stuff? It doesn't. You know what I mean? We know,
yeah.
so we could skip past all that and not be as obvious.
Yeah, and like part of me thought, well, maybe like the government tried to like downplay it, but no, there was arcade games, there was like cereal boxes, like it's a well known
Yeah,
phenomenon. Yeah,
they're known, and Burt is the Graboid hunter.
yeah, on magazine covers.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's it. People
But
know
of
about
course,
it.
he's down his luck again because they have to start off like that.
Yeah, that was
Like,
strange.
do you remember the opening scene of Tremors 3? He's in Argentina and he's just swaggering in, and that, what I mean? Even the army's like deferring to him.
Yeah,
And it's all fun. And he's top of his game. And that's what was wrong with keeping that. That's what we're looking for.
yeah. It
Oh,
is it is strange that he would be poor considering he hasn't paid any taxes. So you have more money if you don't pay taxes. And he had a TV show. He had the Monster and Son perfect job that he had they alluded to at the end of the last movie that
mhm.
they were for hire, monster hunters for hire, him and
Yep.
Travis. So I mean, he had to
And
have
he has a
had
silver
some
mine.
money for. And he has a silver mine. That's true. That's true. We learned about that. And so the only thing I can think of is he's just blowing all of his money on weapons and ammunitions. I guess that's the only reason he wouldn't have money, right?
But armies of the world give him weapons.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he, because remember Tremors 2, he's like, that's going to make election. So now we know where he gets, what I mean? He goes and does these jobs and he happens, things fall off the back of the lorry onto his truck,
yeah.
like
Is that
rocket
why he takes?
launchers.
Is that why he takes these jobs just to get
Yep.
access to
Why
the?
not? But wouldn't you? If you had a job where the perks were to further carry on your hobby, why wouldn't you?
Yeah,
I work for Games Workshop for the 50% discount. It's a crap job, but even working part time, there you go, half off everything.
yeah,
And I had stupid amounts of armies because every penny like I earned, I spent back in the shop again because that
yeah.
was clever. But it was 21, so I could do it.
Right.
So if he's going around the world and taking out graboids and the armies are like, oh, by the way, yep, have whatever you want. And he's like, yep, $10 is for the job, $1 for me.
It's a good point.
Why
So,
not?
I will say my first positive thing about this movie over 20 minutes into the review, I did like on the conversation he had with Val when she's Valerie when she's trying to get him to to come to the Arctic.
Yes.
Um,
The South African Arctic.
yeah, like he kind of like gave in pretty quickly. And then like at first I was like, wow, he's not even like asking like what will I get paid or what weapons will you give me? He's just like, okay, I'm in. And then like part of me was like, that's strange. But then I was like, you know what? He's had this conversation in at least 2 other movies where he's trying to been recruited and he's been like, standoffish about it and he has to be convinced to do it. So the fact that he kind of gave in early may actually be a positive, because it might have been repetitive if he like hemmed and hawed and said, I don't want to
Yeah, she
go.
said the right words. Let's be honest. If you're a nerd about something, all somebody has to do is turn up and say other nerd words, the same nerd
Yeah.
words you do, and you're like, "You're my best friend right now." That's it, easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she was able to, and I don't know why she didn't lead off with, "Oh, I'm Val's daughter."
Yes.
I don't like. Was that supposed like that? Did not have to be a super secret reveal later on.
Yeah.
And this is for script writing's just like, oh my god, why are you doing this?
Yeah, I do like her character. I thought the actress was, credible, which is better than a lot of people in this movie. But that was definitely hard to. Yeah, if you're trying to convince Burt to come, that's what you lead with. That's your
Yeah.
opener. Hey, you were close with my father, and I need your help. Boom, he would have been there. I don't know why I snapped with one hand and not the other. You only need one hand to snap. But yeah, he would have been there. That's the first thing she should have said. I couldn't figure that out. I agree with you.
And there was instead of that dopey scene at the start, have them in the research station, let us get to know the characters a wee bit, and then her have a picture of her dad and her mum
Yeah.
on like her dorm.
Yeah.
And then she rings, oh, this is the job for Uncle Bert. Boom. Straight away, there's all the links on the phone. You didn't have to go through all this nonsense. This jumping through hoops. This is where this guy doesn't get Tremors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How can you? We're not we're not Hollywood directors, right?
Right.
And we haven't been, and we're not the Tremors saga. Who, if you want to really nerd out in this series, go check them out. And Levi is absolutely brilliant. They're on live stream and just shooting the shit about this all the time, you know what I mean, and all the background stuff. We're not even that level of fan, we're tourists. We're just sort of popped into this franchise and like, oh right, okay, there's 7 movies and 3 TV series. Okay, I guess we're going to be doing this for a bit, but we have been able to figure out in the space of 5 movies what the feel and what the dynamics of this, what the good parts of this franchise are.
Yeah, the heart of the movie, we talked about it, was the town and the townsfolk and their connection to each other, the community. So they took that away from us immediately. The town is deserted. It's just Burt.
He's broke. He's in trouble. Deconstruct this stupid modern trend. Deconstruct.
Yeah.
Just why? And then it's the fans' fault why these things fail.
Right.
It's your fault. You're a nistophobe because you didn't like this movie.
Yeah. You don't get it, right? That's the thing.
This wasn't made for you, but go and watch it. And if you don't, then you're a Russian bot trying to tear it down.
Yeah.
You're organizing boycotts. you know the mad shit that they come off with, which makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the basic understanding of how characters work.
Yeah. And there were a couple of moments here or there where they referenced the original cast, which I do appreciate. Like they mentioned Jody left the shop to Burt to take care of, and then Travis accuses him of squatting in it. But at least they referenced Jody.
Yeah, but once again, it was
fleeting.
So they've deconstructed Jody's character.
Yeah.
Who gave her, they could have had another Chang. Why, they could have another member of the Chang family.
Yeah.
If they couldn't get the actress back.
Yeah.
Look at how they've done it before with Love. This is just.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Here, you stupid Tremors fans. I know you like it. So we'll put this bit in the script because you stupid Tremors fans will want to see this. That'll shut you up. It's like, you know, somebody's made this who hates this franchise.
Or
and it's just down it in. I suppose I'm getting paid to do this, so I better shut out this movie.
It reminded me of like one of those chat GPT, like those artificial generators. If you were trying to do like it's have the computer do a script for a new Tremors movie.
Mhm.
And it's like what the computer picks up from the previous movies. Oh, you have to have the town of perfection in it. Okay, sort of, even though it's deserted and devoid of all its soul. You have to have, a love interest, but not for Burt, for someone else. Okay, you had that with Travis, but that didn't work at all. You have like they pick apart like elements of prior Tremors movies without understanding any of it. It's
And they
it's
had to deconstruct the father-son relationship.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry, my freaking dickhead of a neighbor screaming outside in his garden. He drilled me. He freaking messed up. He started drilling on Sunday. I thought, I just hope he hits his head off something. Honestly, he went quiet for a few months,
He's
and then
he's
he's starting up again. He's fucking
he's just yelling in the garden. That's not how
just
you get vegetables to grow faster.
you know, at nighttime as well because it's grow. Damn you! I know it's December and it's pitch black, but fucking grow grass. It wouldn't surprise me if that's what he's doing. He's saying, "Oh, Christ, freaking tapped in the head." There's three of them living down there, and they're freaking. Honestly, if they're not partying all night, they're screaming and shit. But even that script's better than this one.
Yeah,
The current live script outside is better than this.
it definitely. Oh gosh, it was
Um,
devoid of any soul. Yeah,
yeah, but they had to deconstruct the father son because now Travis had a wobble and he disappeared and then ruined his father's web show. And you're like, what is this?
that was weird. But I will say one positive to that is that if like a lot of time had passed in real life and in the movie between the previous one. So you would think that they would have had time to work out all their differences as father and son.
Mm-hmm.
But if that all happened off camera, I kind of would have
That's
been
fine, but you don't need to visit because what we need are the monster hunting team.
yeah.
And what we need are some cool shots of pass me the blah 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 blah. Yes, pops. Don't call me pops, and that's not the and the one with the longer barrel that does the special thing. That's what you
Yeah.
needed. That sort of banter of them loading up for. Like he threw in the joke about the DDR something form.
Oh yes, I have a
Like
fun,
that was funny, but it was so badly delivered.
fun fact about that. The RCMP 5590 form
The
that
DDR
burst.
form's a military thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that actually is the correct form to go into Canada for a non-resident firearm declaration form. So that is
Yeah,
actually
but
the correct form.
but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
All that stuff, that would have, instead of us weird deconstructed family, you're not allowed to have father and son relationships. You're not allowed to have brotherly relationships. You're not allowed to have community because in the Hollywood Marxist utopia, everyone's living in tents and pissing and shitting themselves on the ground, just
yeah.
in front of the shops, in front of the schools and stuff. And that's the utopia. Look at Los Angeles. Great job, America. If that's what you want to live like. But that wouldn't have cost any more money to do this. It's not a budget thing.
It's not a budget thing, no, for sure.
In fact, remove that first scene and just have them in the station. Which is what the cool thing about this franchise is the use of locations has always been clever. They haven't went too crazy with set pieces.
Right.
They've had one focal point and then they've had another little offset area where they encounter the Graboid.
Right, which is effective because it gives you that claustrophobic feel that
Yeah.
the people can't get out, they can't get free. So I actually think it works, and it's also good for the budget. But I will say that the Travis Burt relationship, in my opinion, was actually like one of the only redeeming features of the movie. I kind of like that they still had some like tension, and if that had been resolved, even though it would have made sense in the amount of time, I think it would have detracted from the few good parts in this movie. And at least they did give some justification of why it hasn't been resolved, because they referenced that Travis has been away 4 or 5 weeks at a time shooting different docuseries and things like that. So there's this understanding that they haven't really spent that much time together, which is why they're kind of in the same
Yeah, but that was
place.
just a, you know what I mean? That was just a lazy trope. They didn't need
Yeah.
that. That's what I'm saying. Remove that. They don't need it.
I
And
think you take away that their relationship, and there's actually
but
absolutely nothing redeeming in this movie.
yeah, but that's, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
just putting sprinkles on the turd. We don't want sprinkly turds. We want something nice.
That's a good image.
Just let that sink in there for a while.
Yeah.
There's nothing but quality in this show.
Great. Now I can't have chocolate ice cream for a month.
But like I was saying, just have the research station, have them going about, and then somebody discovers the Graboid, and then we'll have Val Jr.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I need to call Uncle Bert. And then we'll have the cool scene of father and son team loading for bear.
It would
And
have
we
been
could have had all sorts of cool, like you think about Tremors 2 and coming in the truck.
Yeah.
All that, you know what I mean? You look at Tremors, the original Tremors movie, him and Heather.
Right.
Right. Tremors 3, where he's, you know, he comes up with the flatbed and the anti-aircraft gun.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? That's is the arrival of Bert.
Yeah.
And that trope has worked brilliantly.
Yeah.
Look at him coming into even in the prequel, he arrives in, he's a complete buffoon, but he still has an arrival.
Yeah.
And then even then when he comes back with a horse and wagon, the arrival of Bert, you know, or sorry, Harem, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, same thing. Yeah, yeah.
It works because it's fun. And
Yeah.
guess what? Hollywood, we like to have fun in movies. It's okay. It's
Yeah.
not evil.
No, this director didn't get fun. His attempts at comedy were some of the worst parts in the movie. I will say there was one or two parts that I did laugh a lot at, but it was very, very few and far between. The part where he, I know this is jumping ahead a little bit, but where he's trying to talk Dr. Freeze. Yeah, he's trying to talk him into like getting courage, and he's like, "Look at me, I have balls of steel. Say it." And then he's like, "My balls are in the
Guinness Book of Balls." But that was right. That was cool.
That was good.
That's the fun element.
Yeah,
and it could have been just done accidentally.
Yeah.
He might have, oh no, I actually made a joke. He's probably whipping himself, the director. Oh no, I made a joke. Oh no, I'm going to get punished.
Yeah. Michael Gross must have ad-libbed that, and the director didn't notice it. And the editor's like, yes, this is what we want. The editor left it in. Yeah.
He done an early army. But, right. I get the thing of him getting Graboid poisoning.
That was a cool story beat.
It was a cool callback, you know what I mean? Because that was always the thing they've done. They've had callbacks to previous movies and they've done it well. So that was a cool callback that now there's things that manifested. But they had to completely destroy him as a character.
So I'm glad you mentioned that.
Because that was and it's such a 20, you know what I mean? It's such a late 20s thing. This trend of, we can't have a male character in the lead. We'll have to let this girl bosses take over, so we'll have to deconstruct him instead. Which the other movies have had strong, brilliant women characters who've stood side by side, and each one's had their moment, and nobody's felt like somebody's being put down or up. That's one thing this franchise has done bloody brilliantly. So what's this crap?
So I had a theory about that because
is this? Oh right, hold on. Is this a?
I'm afraid it is.
Is it that time?
It is that time.
All right, let's do it. It's a theory. It's a Chris. It's a theory. Chrissy Chris. Chrissy Chris.
Chris's crazy theory.
It gets me every time.
I can't believe you're going to try and sneak that in without.
So I started thinking he is acting strange. He's acting overly aggressive, irrational, even for Burt. And as the movie goes on, he becomes increasingly so. And I started thinking, Well, maybe this parasite of
Just
the
think back to Tremors 3. And right, he cares. Tremors 3 is a perfect example, back to perfection,
yes,
where he's admonishing everybody for not keeping up to date with everything he put in place. The fact that he went and put protection in place for everybody shows
yes,
that he cares. He didn't sit on his castle
right.
and keep himself safe. He'd done all these graboid detection uh, radars and seismographs, and everything was all linked up.
Yeah.
That's Burt. This wasn't.
No, it was like a heightened, overly aggressive, irrational Bert. And I started thinking about this, and I said, well, maybe there's an actual reason for this. So maybe the graboid parasite wasn't actually intended to kill him. Where do we know that why do we think that it's intending to kill him? Because that one doctor who looks like she's all of 20 years old said, like, oh, the parasite is going to kill him. We don't know much about these graboids. In fact, they also, one of the doctors references that they have no connection to anything else on the evolutionary tree, which I loved hearing that line because it really, gave credence to
You're
my
going with the Martian theory.
my Martian theory. So I'm thinking maybe the parasite does something different than what they think it does. Maybe it's not intended to kill him. Let's look at this more.
Are you thinking more of a symbiote than
Perhaps,
parasite?
perhaps, because we see that image when he's sleeping on top of the roof in perfection and he's awoken violently. The way the director shot it, he has these vivid images of the graboid. If you have a parasite in your belly, you're waking up in pain. You're not waking up to these vivid, dreamlike images. And later on, he's
That's what
talking.
I thought from the trailer. I thought he had a psychic link.
That's what I'm.
Oh, I
That's what
didn't
I'm.
get it. Oh, I didn't get the payoff.
Well, maybe it didn't pay off yet, but that's what they're hinting at. And later on, when she says, I'm sorry, there's nothing more I can do for him, meaning according to her great medical knowledge, he's done for. And that's why Travis gets angry and turns around. And then what happens? Well, Bert just stands up and everything's fine. Miraculously, he's healed because the graboids weren't trying to kill him. They were trying to take him over. Why would they try to take him over? Well, this movie talks a lot about bioweapons. That's one of Bert's big theories. He thinks DARPA is trying to create a bioweapon. In fact, they weren't, and the head DARPA agent was like, "Oh, that's a good idea." At the end of the movie, why is the bioweapon thing in his head? I think it's because the graboids actually want to turn Bert into a bioweapon called Graboid, aka Burt Blaster. This theory has a 99.8% margin of error for accuracy. But listen, they realize who's the biggest threat to the Graboids? Burt. He's killed more Graboids than the entire human population combined. They realize that they can't defeat him. They need his knowledge. They need to take him away from killing them and to make them on their side. I think that they're trying to turn Bert into Graboid, aka Burt Blaster. And that is my theory.
There you go. It's a theory. It's a Chris. It's a theory. Chris. Chris's crazy theory. All right, then. That was better than the script. he managed to write a better theory than the director did for this flipping movie. Dear, it's. Do you know what? Even us talking, there's more potential and simpler and cheaper way to make this an endearing movie that this franchise could go on forever if they just keep the main elements. And even when it comes Bert's time to pass the torch, building up Travis, there was a handoff for it to carry on. But they've arsed it up.
Yeah, definitely. I do like the way Travis stepped up a little bit at the end, but it did feel...
He was still flaky as hell. You know what I mean? We had all his flakiness during the last movie.
Yeah.
And then a comment, you know what I mean? So we've seen all that. So what the hell are we doing seeing it again? It's like those dopey Michael Bay movies.
Yes.
With Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, you could tell this
I,
director is
I
from
could
that.
forgive him being a dipshit in the first movie, right?
Yeah.
But 15 movies in, he's still a dipshit and hasn't progressed with his experiences.
Yeah.
No. You know, and that's what I'm feeling here. It's that lazy, don't understand. And I don't understand people.
Right.
People confuse me every day with their moronicism. Is that a word? Did I
It
just
is
make that
now.
up? The spot? It is now. Okay,
It
right.
is now. It's
Ah,
canon.
yep, I've said it live on on the interweb, so it's true.
That's how the internet works, right?
Absolutely, sure. That's what people try every day. You know, just throw stuff in there. But yeah,
Yeah.
these people don't get characters,
Yeah.
and the more I look at this, the more I do this thing, the more I understand is if you don't have characters, you have nothing.
Yeah.
And don't get it. Like we've already had that journey, so we've had that story arc, so we don't need to repeat it. In fact, this is the time to progress, and we didn't need another. In fact, this would have been. Do you know what this could have been? This could have been the initiation of Val onto the team.
I would have been okay with that.
This would have been. I need to ring Uncle Bert, and then the team coming on board, her learning. You know, Val's taught her a thing or two, but in the end, at the end of the day, Val had to call Bert.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, Tremors 2, we've seen it. Val's competent, but when it comes down to it, Bert's the big guns.
Right.
And Val, like just something simple like I'm calling Uncle Bert. There you go. There's all the connection. There's everything.
I
How
would
did
have
he
liked
miss that?
Yeah, I would have liked a little more explanation where, where her dad Val and Rhonda have been. I feel like they gave us like one line of like where
No, it
Bert's
wasn't
like, "Oh,
Rhonda.
Rhonda was from the first movie.
Rhonda was with
Val, Kevin Bacon's Val, and Valerie is the
oh god,
daughter.
that's
Yeah, in the
oh
first
sorry, I
movie.
was thinking Earl. Sorry. Why have I got Earl in my head?
Oh, no worries, no worries. So,
All through this, I've had Earl in my head.
oh, okay.
I've got the
I
characters.
I interchanged them
You know
too.
what? This was that yeah, but then and this is the thing with Cap Snip. They keep trying to recreate that, and we're 6 movies in now. That
Yeah.
is ancient history.
Well, I will say they did try to recreate that in Tremors 2 and
Yeah,
3.
and they knew it was failing, so
It was yeah,
they did the good thing with 5, bringing in father son team, brilliant.
right. Travis.
But we've been through all that, so
Yeah.
this could have been the team, and then now we have Val joining the team,
Yeah.
and then the three of them can go off to the next movie.
Yeah.
Now I don't know what the hell the next movie is going to be, and I'm not looking forward to it.
So I think they alluded to what could have been a cool plot point, in my opinion, was the legacy aspect. Travis talks to Bert about the legacy of everything like that, and I think that could have been a cool. I don't want to say passing the torch because honestly, if Bert's not in it, I'm not invested at all.
Mhm.
But just the idea of Travis stepping up, and he's got it in his DNA. He's got Hiram and Burt Gummer's DNA in him. Just to see him stepping up and being that, and we got a little bit of it. I mean, he did lead the team in the second half of the movie, but it didn't really feel that organic. It felt
It was so forced and
forced. Yeah,
contrived. It was horrible to watch
yeah,
because if he had, like I said, start the relationship that they're a father and son team,
yeah,
and then him faced with a prospect, but there were still are you know what I mean? There's still that weird just met each other vibe,
yeah.
so it didn't work.
Yeah, if the writing was better, and I definitely think Michael Gross had it in him, um, to do, to be, to play it up, the good relationship between the father and
Oh
son.
yeah, because like I said, he's already demonstrated.
Yeah, and I
He's
think
not a robot. He's actually, and this is one of these, stereotypes or misconceptions people have. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not an American, but I've looked, you can't help because American culture smacks the world around the face. Like, because it's your only main export because you don't make anything. But it's true. That is your export is actually culture.
Yeah.
Movies, what I mean? That is your it's the same as way we're a massive bank.
That's not actually true. We created the donut as bread and the chicken in between. So it's a donut chicken sandwich. You're welcome, world.
That's nowhere else.
I don't know. I hope not.
Hence why we all don't have type 2 diabetes.
That's fair.
I have a chance of living past 60.
That's fair. That hurts, but it's fair.
No, but
yeah.
What I'm saying is, from an outsider, I can look at American culture because it's it's displayed constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's your thing. Same as us with finance. Everyone's got their export. And how to interact with the world.
Right.
So I can see the misconception of gun nut, survivalist. They hate everybody, but actually no, because if you're trying to preserve, you're actually more caring.
Right.
Because if you don't care, you just let everything go to shit. If you don't care, you're not going to be bothered.
Right.
Let the USSR come over. Let China come over. You know what I mean? You've just like, yeah, whatever. I'll find as long as I'm okay. I don't care what happens to people below. But the other folks are actually extremely caring, and that's also to their detriment too, because they care too much and take it too far.
Right.
So to portray him in this way is actually against his nature, where we saw his nature in the previous movies.
Yeah, it was missing that caring aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gone from this completely. Even with the illness, there was a hook there, like you said, with the whole psychic connection. If that illness was making him like, so he became the detector. It's and then there's one there, and that would have been useful plot point and would have been fun to play with.
Yeah.
But no, they completely fluffed it.
I like to think that they're setting us up for
no, they haven't. Look what they did in 5. Look now, it's the same director. This is not joined up.
Yeah.
We have seen, even this prequel, we have seen 4 movies joined up, and you had to feel the tremors all the way through. We've been on this. We saw the last movie, and it was you saw the cracks starting to show.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing it here, and it's like, uh-oh.
Well, if Tremors 7 has Graboid in Mars, you're going to feel very silly.
That but if that was, do you know what? If that was the thing,
yeah,
they could have played with that, and that would have been fun. Like, imagine Burt turning on everybody.
That'd be cool, right?
And a Graboid up going, controlling them like a remote control. So they'll have to take out the Graboid to get Burt back, and then inject them. Still go with the, extracting the bile to fix them.
Yeah,
that would have worked.
Twist. Yeah,
this had no. Even the capture him on alive and anything else, it just had no cohesion.
Yeah,
it was just a movie. Stuff happened. Go to scene, the next scene.
Instead of having Burt showing signs of being taken over by Graboid, they had him with his ass hanging out in the hospital gown. So that was the choice they made. Yeah,
just had to completely deconstruct them. And it was like, what are you doing that for?
Yeah.
And I think it's this weird culture of, if you're over a certain age, we hate you.
Yeah.
If you're male and if you're white and if you're straight, we hate you. It's all that kind of stuff. And you're like, who's the bigot here?
Yeah.
Because everyone else is living that live. You are the ones that are projecting your hatred onto the screen.
Yeah.
With your choices. And there has been no need. This whole series has been fantastic, and I don't want to use the R word, but showing a whole range of characters,
right,
and giving them agency and showing them to be strong. And this is from the bloody 90s.
Yeah,
this is where I don't understand their argument. These people are just showing their hatred, their bigotry, and their ineptitude because they don't get people.
Yeah.
And
Or
I
how
think
they
you have to
talk.
understand people to understand characters.
Yeah, and especially how people talk to each other, because like the
Hmm.
dialogue was terrible.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But somebody said that actually recently, that younger people, like in their 20s, don't communicate. They don't speak. It's text speak. But that's how they speak to each other. Using words and sentences is too complicated for them. They just can't register.
That's an interesting point. That you could definitely see that played out in this. That yeah, I could see that. Maybe that's they were trying to get that how kids speak to each other, but it didn't.
It's
It just didn't
painful.
work. Yeah, it's painful.
And the thing is, who are you going for with this movie?
It's supposed to be the fans like us that have enjoyed the original and have seen the connected movies. If you're not going to get someone who's never seen any Tremors movies to start with six. I mean
No.
maybe one or two, but you're supposed to be catering to a built-in audience that you're counting on. If you've already made five previous movies, that there is an audience, so you're supposed to be for them. And it definitely wasn't geared that way. Not with the way they speak to each other and just the
No,
whole.
and you,
Yeah,
like I said, we can tell. You can tell straight away. I was able to tell, like, sort of halfway through the last movie, this was going this direction. I was worried.
yeah.
Now I'm seeing it being played out, and like, oh, why? Why'd you do that? There was no need. This is not a budget thing. You know why they always blame the budget for movies going wrong?
No, it's not the budget. Yeah, they didn't have to tell us that they were starting the movie in the Arctic and then make it global warming and look like anywhere else in the U.S. That's their choice.
Yeah,
Like it's not budget. It was just choices, just bad decisions. And the dialogue is not budget. It's of writing and it's choices.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the characters, because what was like, there's actually a cool thing where Bert's talking to Val about her boots.
Right.
Brilliant, you know what I mean? Brilliant.
Yeah.
And her mum giving the, you know what I mean? There you go. That's the sort of stuff. And there was only 10 little fleeting moments, but that's the stuff that makes Tremors.
Yeah. The
But there wasn't
connections.
enough to, you know what I mean? That was only like a little bit, and this whole deluge of shit that came with the rest of the movie.
Yeah. For me, the things that I'm most interested in is I wanted to find out what happened to Val and the Kevin Bacon's Val and
Mhm.
Rhonda. And we got one line of dialogue where Bert is apologizing. He's like, "Oh, I lost track of Val," and then the daughter says, "Oh, he's easy to lose track of." I was like, "There's a story there that we didn't
Mhm.
get." And then the whole thing with Heather.
But you know what? You didn't need that. That's what I'm trying to say. Right, but don't need to see it in camera that they keep in touch.
No, no, but I'm just interested in those characters, and I just wanted
Yes.
to know more. Like to me, that's the
Like Earl did it in part two brilliantly. Yeah, because
yes,
he met a good woman,
yeah,
and that, explained his situation. In one sentence, he explained his situation and what was happening with Val. That was
right,
brilliant.
yeah,
Like I said at the very start, all she had to do was, I'm ringing Uncle Bert.
yeah,
Job done. You know what I mean? There's one sentence that would have saved a whole load of exposition and rigmarole and dancing around, and you would have had Tremors instantly. And then the
yeah,
little things of, oh, they're Graboid skin. That's Graboid skin boots. Yeah, they're tough. They're still they were my mum's, and she gave them, and they're still brilliant. There's loads of wee bits like that. Having a photograph on her dorm, a room, on the
yeah,
bedside table, mum and dad, job done.
right.
It's not hard, not
It's not
expensive.
hard. Yeah.
And then you brought this up during your theory, but what the hell was the point of DARPA?
Oh gosh. So again, this
What
goes back to
purpose did they serve?
yeah. It seems like ever since Tremors 2, they have this idea that a Tremors movie has to have a human villain, and they can't just have the Graboids as villains. You have to have a human villain, and I feel like every movie's had that. But which was the most successful Tremors? The first one. I don't
Mhm.
remember a human villain in the
There
first.
wasn't.
You don't need it. And it's yeah. I was surprised. First of all, that guy, Mr. Cuts, I think was his name?
Who's the villain in Tremors 2?
Yeah, Mr. Cuts. Tremors 2, didn't they have I could be getting them confused, but wasn't
No,
there?
because Tremors 2, there was no villain, human villain either. Because it was the Mexican, you know what I mean? It was the Mexican government asked them to come down.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
there was no actual,
I take that
because
back.
bloody hell, when we lost Pablo, no, it wasn't, was it Miguel? We lost Pablo in the, it was 3, we lost Miguel. No,
With
Pablo, remember Pablo's death where he's like grabbed from the window?
Yeah.
There was no actual human villain. It was everyone just in a
Yeah,
bloody
you're right.
dire situation.
I'm confusing
So
it.
once again,
Yeah.
number 2, there's no human villain.
Yeah.
It was number 3 that brought Dipshit back. God, the kid. He became the state agent.
Oh my gosh.
So it was number 3 that messed up, but he wasn't really a villain. He was a nurse.
But
he got taken.
There was someone that wanted like Graboid egg. Was that 3?
That was him. 3. That was number 3.
No, the kid wanted the property.
Yeah.
There were 2 human villains in 3. I think that's what I'm getting confused with. I thought
there was 3 that started that trope.
Yeah.
It's okay for a one-off, but then they copied it again before.
Yeah.
I got silly. No.
Melvin. That's the character.
Melvin, yeah. They had Melvin in 3. 4. No, 4 Harem was just, it was just Harem's origins, origin story. They didn't do it even they didn't do it again at 5, and 5 was just, it wasn't even a villain, it was just weird antagonist for no reason.
Well, I think the flashback one, didn't they have someone in the beginning who made the men go back in and then he got killed or something like that?
Yeah, but that wasn't a villain, that was just work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That wasn't.
Yeah, you're right. It's not as much of a trend as I thought, but it's definitely not necessary. And I thought that guy was just a tool, Mr. Cuts. I thought for sure he was going to get killed. I was surprised he survived. He was just the worst. Did you see how he kicked the guy in who was trying to grab his foot? I'm surprised no one.
Yeah, and then Burt is the one that jumps down to save him.
Yeah. And what's the deal? So the DARPA stands for the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency.
Yeah, it actually exists, I believe.
Yeah, but since when do they have a get out of jail free card where he can wipe away all of Bert's taxes now and in the future? But that's a nice perk.
Yeah, but that was once again that was a pointless storyline.
Yeah, it was.
What purpose did that actually serve?
Yeah,
to force him to go to this research. No, we've already got that established. They do it willingly because they understand the threat of these things.
Yeah.
So there's a whole spate of dialogue. There was an extra character, taxman. There was a vehicle they had to hire. There was cost that they could have channeled into something else.
Yeah, agreed.
They didn't need the DARPA agents. That was their whole set. All I had to do was extend the research out a bit and a couple more characters. They didn't need the flipping jackboots running about to get killed. Because believe it or not, the one thing about the Tremors movie, you don't need that many kills. It's the tension.
True.
And then when something happens, it's it's a tragedy.
Right.
They've had 5 movies to work on, to work with, for an example. How the hell did they mess this up so badly? I actually felt sad at the end of it. I felt sad for watching this.
For me, the second half was I think the bar was set so low in the first half. Like that whole scene with the tax man, like that, I couldn't figure out if they knew each other, if they were joking with each other.
If it was banter or seriousness or what?
It was like watching an alien try to figure out how human conversations work, and it was like, no, you didn't get it. So that just I think the bar was set so low, and if this was the director's intention, it was genius because the bar was set so low in the first 20 minutes of this movie that
by the rest.
Half, I was like, hey, this is not bad. So I had a different take on it, but
you're just more optimistic than me. When you've done this for a couple of years, that's what we're going to do, right? this document Chris. The longer he's on this show, and when he starts becoming the cynical old bastard.
You'll see it. It'll be on a chart where it's just like it goes downhill.
Right. I want recommendations in the comments, folks. What movies should we get Chris to watch just to break him down? Saying this is all about deconstruction. Let's deconstruct Chris. He's too happy and he's still got hope.
That's fun. It should take.
Oh man. You have to laugh though. Yeah. I just there was no need for half the stuff in this.
Yeah.
And half the expense that actually led nowhere.
Yeah.
If DARPA had dropped the Graboid off at the research station as a test, as a bioweapon, why not make that the plot?
Right. He was surprised. He was like, "Oh, I never thought about that. Let's do that with that captured Graboid you have." And then you get that ending. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like
that ending that took forever to happen to get the payoff.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like, God, what did we watch? Steve and I watched Asylum last night. And there's a bit where the body parts are going at like snail's pace. I mean, you could just step over them and walk up the stairs, to escape the trap. That's what that felt like with that plane.
I'm gonna get a snack. I'll come back later. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. You can kill me in a minute. Come back down and things move that slowly. That's what that felt like with that bloody remote controlled plane.
Yeah.
And plus, that was the payoff of him. They set him all up that that's his hobby. He likes playing with his drones and planes.
Yeah.
And that was the only payoff. That bit at the end.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the other thing? Oh, because he had a lot of energy drinks, he could run a bit.
No, the energy drinks was to explain why he could pee so much and use the pee.
Oh, yes. That's right.
That's a genius bit of writing there. So I think that was supposed to be like a callback to the first movie where Rhonda uses the water trickling on the ground to get the Graboid's attention. But the difference between that 1990 and 2018 is that you have Val looking at him through a scope and saying, "Oh, he's got game." He's looking at his crotch, like.
If that was the other way around.
Yeah, I was.
Oh my God! What did they tried to? Oh shit! This is the fucking most painful bit.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say. The pants. That is the I wrote it down. That is.
I cringed. I actually cringed. I forgot to put it in the notes.
That is the quintessential.
Because I cringed so hard, I couldn't. My mind just blocked that scene out.
That is the quintessential difference between movies made in 1990 and movies made in 2018. In 1990, Rhonda is legitimately scared for her life, and she's being grabbed by the tentacles of the Graboids. And Val tells her to take her pants off, to save her life. And of course, she says yes, because that's how human beings react. But in 2018, the girl would rather be eaten and killed than. And
it went on and on and on. And you're like,
yeah,
because in the 90s one was like, take off your pants, done, run, and then she's getting dressed again like 2 minutes later. It was all that whole quick thinking.
Yeah,
off the box. It wasn't even sexual. We talked about it. It wasn't even.
Yeah.
Now, not saying she wasn't a good-looking woman, but I'm just saying that whole thing was just here's a crazy idea because it's something you wouldn't think of to solve a problem. It's that whole thing of letting go of your ego sort of thing. Survival.
Yeah.
And that just made it so awkward and painful and shit.
Well, she'd rather die and be eaten than let But
then she's doing the opposite.
Yeah, staring at the guy.
He's actually objectifying him, and you're like,
yeah, that's 2018 for you. Yeah, that sums it up right there. Better than anything else in the movie, and that's one of the reasons why the movies are not as good.
This is why people are single and miserable today. Because it's just there's no happiness, there's no joy, and it's just weird.
Yeah.
And you can't say it's good because kids are freaking depressed today. It's us old fogies that are happy still, that can smile and laugh. Poor wee shits are just no happiness whatsoever. They're so who's right?
Right.
We'll see in about 20 years when we're still remembering 90s rave in the nursing home on our wheelchairs, giving it and the kids are in their 40s remembering their days with placards and posting, nasty things online and being a troll and not having any friends or family because they just don't have any social skills or sense of humor.
Yeah.
I've just realized how important having a sense of humor is to your well-being.
Oh my gosh, it's my only redeemable quality.
If you can't just laugh at stuff,
Yeah,
and sometimes it's just laughing at the ridiculousness of life and what it can throw at you, you are doomed.
it's a very important defense mechanism for sure. Yeah, I'm a big believer that you have to laugh because otherwise you're going to be crying a lot. It's true.
And what does you more harm? I don't think anybody's ever felt like ending it after a good laugh.
Yeah.
You tend to feel better. It's just
yeah.
This is an example of modern culture, but also this is where it's deeper now because it's mediocrity. It's just not hiring the right people for the job. People who can't write are writing. People who can't act are acting. People who can't direct are directing. It's this is a compounded problem that then shows up on screen. And where are we losing money and where are we running out of venture capital? Because venture capital doesn't last forever.
Right. It's strange because the movies look so much better than they did. The quality of the film, the CGI, and it's so funny that all the things that the first couple of movies had no access to are all there, but all the things that are not free but are cheaper to get, like in other words, like a writer who could put together a good script versus a writer who can't put together a good script. The difference is not that much when you're talking about $10 million budget, let's say. You know what I mean? And yet, so all the choices they've made are wrong. Like they have access to all this, technology.
Which Tremor movies are going to get clicked again on the streaming service or put back in the DVD player, or the Blu-ray player? It's going to be 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah,
possibly 4. You know what I mean? It's going to be the first 2 definitely are the ones that are going to, there's Tremors. I haven't seen that in ages. Click.
Yeah.
There's Tremors 6. Oh god, nah, I'm alright. Oh, there's Tremors 1 again. Click. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And all the funny parts of that were just more organic. They weren't like forced. Like the whole thing with Dr. Frissy and just
that was painful.
Painful. Yeah. It's
and they really dragged that out.
Yeah. They need to, whoever makes 7, I hope they really took to heart, and I doubt it. I haven't seen.
No, if this is the direction, I think
where it's going. Yeah.
And plus, unfortunately, my feeds now started popping up with Tremors videos, and even the title, "Why Tremors is rubbish," "Why I hate Tremors," all these, and that's what you're saying, awful, 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 and I'm like,
yeah,
oh god, there's potentially 2 movies are going to destroy an entire franchise.
Well, the one good thing about the way we're doing the reviews is that after 7, which I'm very worried about.
Yes, I'm actually not looking forward to it.
Yeah, but then we're gonna do the TV show, which is back to 2003. So that might be like a welcome
palate cleanser.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Just because of the timeline, and the mindset.
Yeah, because we do not want to. I've had so much fun doing this series. I don't want to finish on a downer.
Right?
That would be awful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you think that we have started this series and it's been like super joy and positivity and having a laugh.
Yeah.
And if we're going to end up finishing like okay, that was it then.
Yeah.
That'd be awful.
Yeah. So that's a good point. What are you hoping to see in Tremors 7? You said you hadn't seen that one yet, right?
No, and it's called Shrieker Island.
Shrieker Island, yeah.
I want to see Burt and Travis united father and son team, and none of this stuff. That should be done.
Okay.
And yes, I don't care about the real world. This isn't the real world. People keep going about, oh, it needs to be realistic. No, it doesn't. That's the whole point of escapism and fantasy, is to give you an example of hope.
Yeah.
So that you don't wallow in misery. You know, that's the whole point of going to watch a movie, is that you escape the world for an hour or two and then have a wee bit of a buzz so that the world's less shit when you come out.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't need real world fucking complicated relationships and darness. You know, that's... Go watch an A24 film if you want that stuff.
Right. That's fair.
So Burt and Travis, father-son team.
Yeah.
I would like Val to be there as well.
Me too. I thought the actress...
I think the three of them would make a good team.
Yeah.
And as a unit that goes to solve problems. Because that's what this franchise should have been. That, you know, establish who the team are and they go to certain locations. It'd be like episodal. You know, like, remember the old episodal series? The A-Team,
I love
Kung Fu, what do you call that? Was it the prison? Not the prisoner. Prisoner was a Prisoner was a series. The Fugitive.
Oh, I didn't watch the TV show, just the movie. Yeah.
All right. The TV show went around. It was the 60s. But it was episodal. You know, it was still he's on the run and he's looking for the one-arm man. But every time he goes to the village, or goes to a new place, he encounters a new problem. The Incredible Hulk. David, you know, the old TV series.
Yeah.
Every time he went to he went to a new location. It was a new problem.
Right.
Why can't it be like that with the movies? We have the team. We have the Graboid experts that get called in. Here's the new scenario.
Yeah.
Where this as well, you only really had Burt because Travis had changed as well. We hadn't established him enough. Burt was the only link. These were all brand new characters. So you're like having to get to know everybody all over again. It was like not...
Yeah.
And then there was too many characters or too many different elements. So you weren't really... Who should you be focusing on?
Yeah. I like that. I like that idea. Yeah, I think I would like to see...
I don't think we're going to get it, though. I have a funny feeling it's going to be awful.
Yeah.
Unless I'm pleasantly surprised.
I think the main thing for me, if this is the last movie, I know it's the last one that was filmed, but I don't know if they ever have any plans to do any more. But I would like Burt's storyline to have like a good ending. Like, this is the guy that we've been following for 7 movies, so we feel like we know him. He definitely is the only reason why I'm invested in the saga. None of the other characters, like, I really don't, care what happens to any of them.
No, and they've missed opportunities because of the gaps and so on to bring, like, they didn't bring anybody else along with them. So
yeah.
Oh, so shit, we didn't talk about that either.
What's that with Heather?
Why did Travis go to see Heather?
Yeah, it's not his mom. It wasn't his mom.
No.
So they established that in the previous movie that the mom...
That was the whole point. He had no idea of this. This is a one-night stand with a flower child, sort of, of the 70s. There was...
Yeah, so to go to Burt's ex-wife is so strange. So that tells me like there was either lazy writing,
lazy writing. It was lazy writing. It was just an attempt that, here's a reference. You stupid Tremors fans.
Yeah.
Here, have that. And it's like somebody just going, here, and throwing something at you.
Yeah. But it's so easy for us as viewers to be like, well, that actually could have been a compelling story thread. Like, did he go to see Heather because he was worried about Burt? Is there's something there to just like throw us a crumb and then don't explain anything. It's just like insulting. So I guess the point was just for him to get access to that gun, the HK-91 or something like that.
Yeah, but what he could have done was just got him another one.
Yeah.
In fact, that would have been... Dad, it took me a couple of weeks traveling, but and hands him the box.
Yeah.
There's a bonding moment.
Yeah.
But once again, do you know? This is what you should have put as your theory. Actually, is that this script has been written by ChatGPT.
Well,
The director has went in. I need the reference, and he's put all the names of the cast.
Yeah,
And he's put this, and the thing's just thrown out gobbledygook.
Yeah,
and he hasn't proofread it.
You spoiled my theory for episode 7.
I'm sure it won't be a theory. Episode 7.
That one will have a much better margin of error for accuracy.
Yeah. God. That served no purpose whatsoever.
No. It's just disappointing when you reference the possibility of something having a payoff, and then you don't pay it off as a director. You're just letting down your audience. You might as well not have mentioned it at all, because when you start to hint at something that looks, like compelling, and then not go anywhere with it. What about the storyline of Val's parents? Of Kevin Bacon's Val and Rhonda. Again, they reference something. Oh, I wonder if something happened to them, something interesting. Why did they go off the grid? Why are they not talking to Burt? And then
once again, I just don't believe that should have been a story beat at all.
Well, I'd be okay if they didn't mention it at all, but once they mention
no, but having that they're still in contact, we just don't need to. And this is this stupid modern writing as well. If you don't see it in front of your face, it somehow didn't happen. There's no such thing as subtext or off camera.
Yeah, but for me, those are the characters that I'm interested in.
Yes,
the people from Perfection. I want to know more about. What happened to them. We don't know what happened to the people at the town. Why would they leave the town after they fought so hard to defend it? Why was it just Burt and a deserted town? There's interesting.
Yeah, and once again, there's another set piece that I'd need to have.
Yeah.
They could have had Burt and Travis in front of any warehouse. Burt picking up the phone. His niece, let's be honest, Val, have it that way.
Yeah.
And the phone call, he could have been anywhere. And then him and Travis in front of the warehouse loading up. They didn't have to have this. There's all that money wasted to recreate the set piece with Chang's.
Yeah.
For no reason whatsoever.
Yeah. And again,
there's a waste of time and money. I'm starting to think this is a wee bit of a, money get into the washing machine to get cleaned.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think there's a whole racket going on here, because it's the only explanation for this ineptitude.
Yeah. Unless they just don't understand why.
Levi's. I hope we haven't annoyed you. I think we're on the same page here.
Appreciate you joining.
Levi, we need to get at the end of this here. We need you on the show, and we need to do a retrospective of everything. When that's I've kept the email. I plan to reach out, but I'm saving it till we get further along the line here. We need to just do a retrospective in this entire franchise, because oh my god, it was such a gift. It has been such a gift, this thing.
It has been fun, and I would love Levi to just shoot down my theories one by one, like those cans lined up.
Yeah, pew 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 pew.
Yeah. Was that Tremors 4 when he's practicing how to shoot?
Yeah.
That would be great. Levi.
I just hope we're not going to finish on a no spoilers, please.
Yeah.
I just hope we're not finishing on a downer.
That's what I mean. Give Burt the resolution his character deserves. Give him a good ending.
And don't kill him off. Have a handing of the torch.
Yeah. You don't have to kill him.
So he can be, 5 movies down the line, he can meet Grandpa Burt.
Yeah.
And then grandchild Graboid Hunter comes up and say, I remember, but he's on the porch. He's got the porch, he's got the rocker.
Yeah.
And he's got his HK going, you know nothing about hunting Graboids, you kids, back in the day.
Yeah. And the rocking chair is made out of Graboid, like a Game of Thrones throne.
The Graboid throne, yes.
Graboid throne.
Oh, there's one thing they did, at least this movie.
What's that?
They didn't have a detachable. What did they call them?
The detachable
detachable tongues. Oh my god! I'm glad they got rid of that.
So they never had a name for it on screen, but actually, Tremors Saga's website. Of dodging taxes.
I'm starting to, I'm starting to think there's a washing machine in the back of the set. You know, here, what can we build that's completely pointless? I know, let's have an entire government agency called DARPA and a whole sets that absolutely lead nowhere.
The sad thing is that Levi's theory just there is the first theory on this channel that's been right.
There's definitely a washing machine and like loads of paper stuff going.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. I don't know how much more I can say before the door gets kicked in. You know, and I get shuffled off. And if you see a bag over my head and I'm getting pulled off, then I'm right.
Yeah, yeah.
Baby Graboid, yeah, that would work.
Baby Graboids, that works.
But once again, keep it simple. There's a simple. They've already got the premise of the simple thing. You don't need to overcomplicate this franchise for it to go on.
Yeah. So I will say that's one of the few positive points of this movie. I thought it was smart. Instead of creating a new evolutionary, like the Ass Blaster or the Shriekers, they did bring it back to the threat is underground again. They didn't have the baby Graboids. They didn't have.
Although I don't like
Ass Blaster.
They brought this in the last movie. I don't like spinny Michael Bay Graboid.
Yeah.
That's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm getting the next thing you hear from me is as I get disappeared.
All of a sudden the skull that's next
Imagine
to
that being the scandal of the 21st century was the Tremors money laundering ring. And we just cracked it on YouTube.
That's right. We blow the story wide open.
Dear. That was I'm glad we can laugh, because if not, this had the potential. Like, if I wasn't coming on to review this and we weren't here to have a chat and have a laugh about it, this would have been a depressing time.
Yeah.
I would have just switched this off and went, huh.
Yeah.
And just felt less for watching this movie.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the positives from it.
Oh no, we found, like I said, the introduction of Al just had to tidy that up a bit.
Yeah.
Some little quirks.
Burt trying to get Dr. Frizzy to
the scene, right? No, Dr. Frizzy, he should have just got wiped out the first instant. You know, the dragged his character on. When they worked together to trap the Graboid in the container, that was good. That was brilliant.
That was cool. I do like those.
That was Tremors. Okay, that's the community. That's everyone. Just here's a crazy plan.
Yeah, and that goes back. That alludes back to the original Tremors, where they loved plans. That was like a running theme.
Mm-hmm.
I got a plan, and they got so excited about plans. So I thought that was a nice touch. You need that communal, togetherness. So I thought that worked well. Yeah. And if you think about it, like the Graboids are faster, they're stronger, they're tougher. Like humanity's only advantage over the Graboids is our ingenuity.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like that theme where it's like that's the only way to defeat them is to kind of outthink them, which is tough to do because they're getting smarter, but we could still do it collectively.
Yeah, and that's everyone, and everyone has a role. And this, like I said, they're starting to insert this modern culture, identity politics nonsense, and they didn't need it. This series has been a perfect example of everyone having a purpose and being regarded equally, and nobody cared who, what, whatever.
Yeah.
You had a useful purpose. You bonded together as a team, and you bonded with the characters. And we have been to obviously North America, South America, South Africa. We've been all over now, and we've had that thing of characters that are relatable, and you just got on board with them because they were good characters. And we've also had some terrible characters as well, but it was a balance. It was more in the positive. But this just shows the superficial qualities is all they cared about. So then it didn't bother with the characters. And then when you lose that, you don't care. You're just going, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they definitely set the bar low for the 7th movie, so hopefully they can clear it.
Levi hasn't helped there. I'm not even bringing that up. I'm trying to think that it won't be as bad as what they're saying, but we live in hope that at least, if nothing else, we can get a laugh out of it. And
Yeah.
thankfully, we're not finishing in 7 because we're going to the TV series.
Yes, that worked out good.
So whatever, we'll cry a bit, I think, the next stream, and then we'll go back to maybe a happy place. I hope. Don't say anything.
Don't ruin it for us.
Don't let me live in let me live in ignorant bliss, please. That it's not going to end badly because I bloody love this series. I love Reva. You know what I mean? The first movie was the first movie, and I loved it. But I'm glad that at this time, had an appreciation for the sequels and just.
Yeah, I'm having fun. I'm having fun with you with these, even when they're a stinker like this one.
Yeah, we can see how easy it was to fix it. Like, it just didn't need. Like, don't use Chat GPT for your script. Just don't do it.
That's really what it feels like. That's what it feels like. Yeah, they took elements of what they think were important to Tremors fans without any of the understanding of what those elements mean, and the overall heart of the original movie. Yeah,
and I just love the way we have went from let's look at this movie again to we're Tremors fans. I just love the way that progressions. We're now Tremors fans.
Yeah,
no if buts or maybes.
I'll tell you, I'm still vested in it. I still am interested. I want to see what happens to Burt. I still have this. It's like watching a car crash at times where you just kind of want to see what happened. So I'm looking forward to the 7th.
Oh, right. So we've got some hope. Thank you, Levi. Levi's making sure that we stay invested.
Nice. Wow. Okay. The TV show is his favorite part, so that bodes well. And I'll definitely check out those movies. That's awesome, Levi. Yeah. And if Levi could come on that just to shoot down my theories, that would be an honor.
Yeah, we'll get that. That'll be like I said. I think this whole thing needs a retrospective.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic to do. But we've a wee while to go yet. We're not anywhere close.
Yeah, we're not there yet. We're like Burt getting up with his butt hanging out of the. That's us. We're not done yet.
No, but there you go. I think that'll do it for that one. But yeah, some elements are, but just sad. Just I mean, there was no need for this to be the way it was, but. Say la vie, that is the joys of modern society now and modern storytelling that just don't get it.
Yeah.
But Chris, as always, mate, pleasure to have you on board. Pleasure to be doing this. This is still fun to do, irrespective of what the material is. And we will be back soon. Maybe before the end of the year, we'll see what time is like. But if not before the end of this year, definitely in the new year, we'll be doing Tremors 7, and then we'll be cracking on, and we'll decide what we'll do for the TV series. Either try and do it as a one or split it up. We'll come to that decision. So it might be a couple of parts for the TV series, just to depend what the episodes are like.
Yeah.
Well, we'll kind of look at that, but what I mean, we're going to be doing this for a wee while yet. So there's still plenty of Tremors goodness on the channel. It's not going away.
That's right.
But yep, thanks everyone that tuned in there, and as always, keep up to date with the channel, do the typey clicky things. Until next time, keep it creepy, keep it horrific.